Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we are going to make some more progress on the STI and potentially get a startup depending if I can find some parts that I'm needing locally. I was really wanting this car to be started on Wednesday, but this car has fought me every single step of the way and I haven't been feeling the best either. And it doesn't help that my shop is freezing cold. Being out there all day, I'm sure does not help. But today, I'm feeling a little extra motivated to get this car started. It's currently around noon right now, but unfortunately I was so tired this morning, I told the girl to take my truck to work, not realizing that I need my truck to go run and grab oil, fluids, and some other parts. So, if I do get a startup, it will be later on in the day. So, we'll see what type of progress we can make today. I'm trying to get everything as buttoned up as possible. Also, let me know if you guys have been a fan of the daily uploads. I know before I started doing VLOGMAS, videos are kind of hit and miss throughout the week, but now I really want to do VLOGMAS, so I've done daily uploads since December 1st. Now it is the 16th, so this is video 17 I'm recording right now. Let me know if you guys like these types of videos. The only complaint I have filming these videos is I feel like I can't get enough done in a day, so the videos kind of feel weird, if that makes sense. Normally, if I don't finish what I'm working on during that day, I film the next day as well, so it's like a 2-day video, but it's a completed video instead of doing daily videos, because when I'm doing daily videos, whatever I do is what I do, and if sometimes it is a short video, I don't get a lot done. So let me know if you guys are a fan still of the daily videos, or if you guys would like maybe every other day or anything like that. Alright, we are now in the shop. I think we can get everything done besides figuring out the slave. Hopefully I could pick one up locally. I should be able to. I don't really see that being an issue, but I think that's the only thing. If there was anything to set us back, I can go to AutoZone and pick up a 1/2-inch line and cut it to my measurement, because the only one that is too short is to the driver's side head. Everything else fits perfectly, and the rest of the AOS is attached. Now, I was doing research on trying to figure out on the correct size belt, because I did go ahead and delete my power steering just because I think it looks hideous. I wasn't able to find anything, probably wasn't looking in the right places, but for right now, for the purposes of getting this car started, I think I'm just going to throw on just the pump. This way, I can still run the belt and at least run the car and drive it, even though it's not actually doing anything, because I don't really want to put all those gross lines back on. I know there are options to do like a nice AN line, which I might do, but this car needs to go to Ranch Built soon anyway, so I will have them figure out what to do with that. The reason I say this car needs to go to Ranch Built is I need some things made. I have this ETS 4.5-inch front mount, which is not going to be big enough for our power level now. It has a 2.5-inch outlet, which is not going to be supplying the proper airflow that we need, because all my charge pipe is 3.5, so I have a reducing coupler. It's just not going to get the proper flow I need, so they are going to be making me a new custom front mount that will flow a million times better and will be able to handle all the power I'm throwing at it. But also the charge pipe that goes to my intake manifold, I screwed myself doing this. When I sent them the car to make that charge pipe, I never had my radiator in, which obviously they needed the radiator to mock up where exactly it's going to fit. So they tried the best they can, and it does fit with everything together. It just doesn't look as good as I would like it to, so I want them to build me a new charge pipe as well, so it just fits a lot better, especially with this relocation of the alternator. The coolant line that goes to the crossover is very tight and is slightly pinched, which I do not want. So this car will be going there, and they'll be pretty much just doing a full new front mount kit for me. The only thing that they don't need to do is this charge pipe, because obviously it's perfect, but there are some things that I would like Ranch Built to take care of for us. Another thing I want Ranch Built to do is to relocate my ABS, because it looks atrocious where it is. But I know that's a time-consuming project for them, especially with everything else. So that might weigh off a little bit, because I really want this car driving. But thankfully it is winter time and there is snow on the ground, which means I will not be driving this car a whole lot, at least when there's snow on the ground. If I have this car here and there is a clear day on the roads, you can count on me driving this car because it's been way too long since I've actually got to enjoy this car. But realistically, I want this car 100% ready for track season, which normally starts in like March, April-ish. So I just need to make sure that this car is 100% ready to go see the track. But with all of that being said, let's start getting to work on this STI. What I'm gonna start off doing is, as you guys saw a couple videos ago, I installed my AEM wideband and oil pressure. So I need to just go ahead and get the wideband hooked up to the downpipe, and then I need to also put on my oil pressure sensor. I never did that when I had no intake manifold on, so I should have put the sensor on a long time ago, which I didn't do, so silly me, but it's still very accessible. So I need to get that wired in, and then after that, the entire motor is wired together, and I could theoretically start it how it is. But the issue I am seeing here is this oil pressure sensor is barely, it's gonna be hard for you guys to see, it's just like 6 inches too short. But thankfully Bo, because he has his car, had an oil pressure extender for his car, which he never ended up using. So I'm going to steal this and see if it fits on mine. It should. I don't see why it shouldn't work, but we'll go ahead, pull off the stock oil pressure sensor and throw on this extension. Well, unfortunately, the extension harness that I stole from Bo's Evo, it is just slightly smaller than the Subaru one, so it doesn't quite thread into the block. So I need to order one that is made for the Subaru, or I can try to free up some extra slack. I know it was very tight to begin with, but I could see what I can do with freeing up some slack in the meantime. But while we're here, let's go ahead and install the wideband. I have been trying to figure out my slave cylinder issue, and I cannot figure it out, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. So I'm gonna put a pause on that until later on. But for now, I am just gonna go ahead and put on the power steering pump, and then I can get the whole front of the car assembled. And then the only thing left after we get all of that done is the starter and the slave cylinder. And then we should be able to start this thing right up. Now I could put this all together and put the starter in and just start the car and then I can manually just put the throwout bearing so it is a neutral or it's not engaging, but I don't know if I want to do that. Because then I feel like it's not a proper first start because it's not 100% operational, but we'll see what happens. Well, it is way later in the night now. Got my truck back and I ran the errands I needed to finish off this car. I went and picked up some more line for the AOS so I can get the last breather line connected to the head. And then I also picked up some oil because obviously I'm gonna need oil to start this thing up. I already have the coolant, but I'm running into an issue and it's pissing me off quite a lot. I will show you guys what's happening again. I was just sitting in my car because I haven't really sat in here for a while, and then I was just playing around going through the gears, but they are fighting me again. Like, they're not going into gear smoothly, and I have absolutely no idea what is going on now. Very frustrated because I was going to finish this car tonight and get the startup, but obviously I'm not going to put the rest of this car, I'm not going to put the rest of this car together if I can't even really shift the gear smoothly. So I have to figure out what the hell is going on because this is quite frustrating and I really do not want to pull this motor again. Thankfully, if I do have to pull this motor, there's not much to it to get it pulled, but still quite annoying. I've had this motor out several times now, and this isn't the first time it's done this. Ever since I've had this damn setup on this car, it has done this. And I swear it's an issue because I don't trust the car, and the car is now fighting me back with every possible thing it can throw at me. So I have no idea what's going on. I've never had these issues on any other setup, and for some reason now the car is fighting back. So I don't know what I'm looking for. I'm still new to all of this, so I don't know what the issue could be. I don't understand what could change from putting the motor in. I don't know. I don't know what is going on. I feel like even if the splines were incorrect and somehow I forced its way onto the input shaft, I should still be able to shift the car flawlessly because the car isn't on. Correct me if I'm mistaken, but it'd be an issue if the splines were messed up when the motor is turned over, that is when it'd fight me back. Or I could be thinking about this completely wrong, and regardless, it will make these shifts not smooth. But from how I'm thinking about it, it should still shift no matter what with the car off. So I have no idea what's going on. Fortunately, that is probably going to end today's video. It is way later, and it is way too cold to be fighting and pulling this motor out and fixing all this stuff right now. So, unfortunately, I think that is going to end today's video. Please let me know if you guys know what is going on here, or any advice is greatly appreciated. I want this car running so damn bad, and I'm sick of it fighting me. So, with that being said, I think that's going to end today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It was a very, very short video because, I don't know, couldn't do much today. But I apologize that this is now another day of this car not running. I promise you, sooner than later, it's going to run. I'm going to figure out all these pesky little problems I'm running into. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.